Yo, what up? This your boy Tim, aka T.O. Speaks.
And it's your girl Yami, aka Yams Be Saying. And you're not tuned into Love and Theology.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love, your love. Yeah.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice. Charlie Sheen.
Yo, so what great happened for you since the last time we filmed? Or do you want me to start off?
Yeah, I do want you to start off.
Well, actually, I think between then and now, a lot of great things. I got a couple prospects for a couple
Some
good
things
things
that you've been
pop
working
off,
on. Yeah.
Pretty much seemed like everything that we're starting to touch is almost seem like it's coming to fruition, like it's going to start happening for us. So
Yeah.
So just the possibility of next has been great. So
Nothing that we can really fully disclose, but that's good.
and I made it to another week. Hallelujah. I always got to say that. Well,
I think you just be looking for a reason to talk all churchy and country talk.
no, I just
Churchy
made it to
country
another
talk.
week. Somebody didn't make it.
I made it. But isn't the goal not to make it into the loving arms of Christ Jesus?
I think it is the goal, man. I think that is the goal. That can be another topic that I would love to discuss too. That is the goal.
What, heaven and hell?
No. To how we want to be here, but it says to be God. The goal for God, I believe, is to make it for us to make it to Him, right? But it goes for us to stay here because we're just so caught up on the now. And ain't nothing. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it.
No, but I do think that in the church, I feel like we talk so much about, you know what I'm saying, that perspective. Like, oh, I woke up on this side of the, if you woke up on this side of the dirt, you should count yourself blessed. But also, okay, yeah, maybe, right? But also, isn't the point to get to Jesus? You know what I'm saying? So I just don't.
Yeah, I think it's a.
I stopped saying it, is what I'm saying.
It's a crazy contrast, to be honest with you, man.
The perspective. Anyway, that's not what. What's the question?
What good happened for you since the last time we filmed?
I've been super busy. But I took out my hair. That's good. You know what I'm saying? I haven't seen my hair in some time. I don't think anybody who's been watching this podcast has ever seen my hair. This is what my hair really looks like in full form. And it's nice and pillowy and fun to look at. And it brings me a little bit of joy. Oh, okay. Actually, yeah. Because we've been talking about, how hair, last episode we talked about how hair kind of affects our daughter and things like that. So she kind of gets to see me rock this out for a little bit. As long as I can manage. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. It's just...
I know one good thing that happened too.
What?
You finished your first semester of your doctoral program.
Why did I forget about that? Yes, I just wrapped up.
So let's clap it up, you. Congratulations, give me some. She don't like the pound. I never get a pound. One day I'm
I
gonna
just
get a
don't
pound.
understand. I don't understand why you have to do that. No,
That's great. And you know what? Not only did you finish, you probably finished with all your work. You still got eight weeks left in the class. I don't know, but that's just how you have me roll. She don't play
The
around.
semester doesn't end until sometime in December. I'm not even sure, but I've already submitted all my paper. So I had my last meeting with one of my coaches, my coach and my financial advisor, not my financial advisor, my coach and my faculty advisor. Like this week, and it was only prolonged because I was traveling in and out of the
state.
Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty much done until we start in January again.
Next semester.
So yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, I was struggling. I was like, okay.
That's a great thing. You made it through.
Yeah, first semester, and I'm really proud of myself. But you are the many people who don't know that I wasn't even considering doing it just because I just thought it was a lot of work. I didn't see the point and all that. But Tim was really influential in pushing me to get it. So, I mean, I don't got it yet, but I'm closer to it than I was.
To strive for it.
Yeah,
you was all against. You like, what's the point?
Yeah, I didn't see the point. I thought it was.
And I said, what's not the point?
What?
You said, what's the point? I was like, what's not the point?
I heard you. Also,
hey, let it make sense. Okay, just let it make sense.
Okay, so what are we? This is not really all that good.
Oh, that's horrible. I look at the ingredients. That's poison in a bottle, basically.
Well, how's it poison?
So you got high fructose. That's terrible.
Where's high fructose at?
Fructose corn syrup. Cellulose gone.
If I drink, if
Citric
that's the only
acid.
thing I drink as opposed to drinking anything
Skim
else.
milk powder. Soybean. Worst is you can't.
Okay, thank you. What are we talking about today?
But I was the other day you was listening to a podcast. I think it wasn't a podcast. It's a Breakfast Club, right?
Yeah, I was watching The Breakfast Club.
And Michael Dyson was on it. The great Dr. Michael Dyson. He had me love Michael Dyson. I never heard him say anything bad about you. Just
No, because he uses big words, and I'm a fan. I am a fan of anybody who uses big words in sentences.
and that's him. That's what he do.
It's so good.
He does it so well. It almost sounds like he's rapping. You never notice that?
Which he's like the hip hop. Did you know he was ordained?
No, I didn't know that.
Like a minister, I don't know, pastor. I don't know, pastor, minister, whatever. But I think he got he either got the certification or he's actually a pastor. I don't know. But
Ordained to minister the gospel.
I believe so. Yes,
Okay.
I'm saying that, but I could be wrong. But I think it's right.
But anyway, he was talking about Dave Chappelle.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Dave Chappelle receiving a lot of flack from his last comedy. What was his last comedy special name on Netflix? I forget the name of it.
I don't know, but it was. Most people took it. Let me preface what I'm going to say with I don't know enough to speak on people in the LGBTQI and a community, but my understanding is that that particular community took offense to his commentary,
Right.
to which he has described as being whenever I don't know what to say, I start using like big language. But he was basically saying, or he summarized his point of saying that we treat one community differently than we do the black community or something like that.
Right.
And but his comments appeared to be discriminatory to the LGBTQI and A community.
Right. So he received a lot of flack from that, right? But let me start off by saying this. I think Dave Chappelle is a genius, man. I think he's a comedic genius. I think now he does he doesn't go do stand up. It's almost like TED Talks mixed in with comedy now, man. He done got to such a place of comfort, man, and who he is, or what even the world thinks about him that he don't even care no more. I don't think.
I mean, what can you say to a man who was at the top of his game and left with a whole bunch of money on the table to go to Africa, no less, to live his life, and then only came back just for fun, really.
Right. Basically, yeah.
And he don't even live this is not a cat that lives in some sort of ritzy. He don't live in Atlanta. He don't live in New York, California, nothing like that. He live in Ohio.
Ohio on a big plot of land and all this kind of stuff.
This guy does not care about what you say about him in general. So
Right.
I mean that means that he's willing to take the consequences of whatever he says, no matter how it affects people.
One thing that was so funny, there was a lot of stuff that stood out in that special, but he was he was talking about the COVID vaccine. He said, what did he say? He said, give me the Johnson. Give me the same shot that y'all get the homeless people, man. But just think about that. There's so many layers to that. That is true. They give the homeless people the Johnson. The poor people get the Johnson shot.
That is...
oftentimes, man. He said that. He said that. I was like, that man is a genius. The stuff that he be doing, man.
I didn't even. Oh.
He said, give me the shot.
That's
you get
not
the homeless
nice.
people. For who? For him not to call it
No.
out? Or for them to do
I'm
it?
talking about for.
Right. He just called it out.
Yeah, not what he said, but anyway, okay.
But
Wow.
anyway, what drew my attention in that
Michael Dyson.
yeah, he said they trying to counsel him, right? Counsel culture. Michael Dyson was like, we don't need to counsel him. We need to have a discussion, which I agree.
Eric Michael Dyson or Michael Dyson?
Eric Michael Dyson.
Okay.
I think. So he was like, we don't need to counsel Dave Chappelle for that. We need to have a discussion, right?
Okay.
So it made me think, what is counsel culture? Is this a real thing, man? Why do we even spend time on this counsel culture thing, man?
Wait, but even when, on the Chappelle thing, even when they said, he went up and said, because they were like, the LGBTQIA, I guess, said that they would have a conversation. He was like, I'll have a conversation, but I would not be summoned. I said, okay. How is this supposed to happen?
Right.
No, he really doesn't care.
He don't care anymore, man.
No.
I think he's at the point where he like, counsel me. I don't care. You know what I mean? Cause you know what? You can't stop him. You know what? All these people do to Dave Chappelle when he get this flack is make more people want him, man. People, they don't understand that. More people want him now, man.
But the other part of it too is that he has his audience.
He has his audience,
Everybody
right.
has a particular audience
Right.
that no matter what you try to say or do, they will not relinquish them.
Right.
So to your point about cancel culture.
Yeah, like, so I'm wondering myself, like, what is council culture, man? Why do we spend so much time on this council culture thing? Is it a job? Like, is it a real thing? Like, no, I'm really want to know, like, can I go apply? Like, what is it? Or is it just a thought, man? That's what I'm trying to say. Like,
I mean, well, what do you think it is? Because it really is a social. To me, it's a social construct.
is it like? What do you mean by that? Explain.
I don't know. I was just using big words. I was
Yeah.
hoping that you were going to go ahead and continue on. Like, I mean, I wanted to seem informed, but I really don't.
No,
I really
I'm
don't
just
know
saying.
much about this at all.
When I was sitting here thinking about this council culture thing, I'm like, man, we are so caught up in this culture by what other people think. Council culture, who cares, man? You know what I mean? Like Dave Chappelle said in this thing, he was like, he was talking about, and this pretty much plays on council culture, I think, in this special. He said, you know, a lot of people be saying their comments on Twitter and all that. He said, I don't care about Twitter. It's not a real place. Think about that. I really don't care about Twitter. It's not a real place, man.
I do remember him
and
saying
that's
that.
real, man. Like, it's not a real place, man. You know what I mean? But we get
Twitter is not a real place.
Yeah.
Okay.
But we get caught up on Twitter and so. But I want somebody to explain to me why are we scared of council culture, man?
Well, I mean, Twitter is not a Twitter. The comment Twitter is not a real place is also relative because in a community of people, you got to understand, Facebook is losing so much interest in its Facebook the Facebook community that it's decided to create Metaverse, which is a virtual community for people to be enthralled in. So we can argue, and specifically people of your generation, and I'm saying I'm using your generation from what's after the boomers?
The X.
Xers. Because you kind of tote that line, right? My generation is the millennial generation where we were the last true generation to have, you know, played outside and also been, you know, the foundation of this new whatever. To someone who doesn't have your experience, right? Theoretically and truly, Twitter is not a place.
Right.
It's not a physical location. But in a world where we are working virtually,
Right.
communicating virtually, and there's an intersection between virtual and reality, one could argue that maybe Twitter is indeed a place.
I mean, I think one can argue that, but I think the argument will fall flat every time because
To you.
because it's like glass to plastic, right? So what he's saying is that you drop plastic, it won't break. You drop glass, it's gonna break, right? Because it's a different type of substance. That's what you're saying, right? But the thing is this: Twitter has created. I think what Dave Chappelle is saying, he has created a plastic world, right? It's not real, man. It's really not real. So what happens is people get on Twitter. We talk to people that we're never gonna talk to. Are any social construct, and I think they're great. I think they have a place, man. But I think we made this place such a reality when it's not a reality, man.
Well,
That's what I'm trying to say. That's what I believe.
Here's why I disagree with you, only because, and not because I think that Twitter is a real place, but
I think you do.
no, I don't even use Twitter like that.
No, but I think when he said Twitter, I think he was talking about
Social media.
Social media altogether.
Yeah, but here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm going to levy as an example, right? We say all the time, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
I think that's a terrible analogy we had.
Okay, but that's exactly it's very parallel to what the conversation that we're having about like the reality of like social media in true form.
Right.
Because the idea is that it shouldn't affect you. If you are bothered by social media or something someone says about social media, you should be unaffected. Sticks and stones may break your bone, but words may never hurt you. But in reality, it does impact you. So it is to a person, not necessarily me, but to a person, an actual thing. Because that is that is the medium to which community is now foundationally based.
Well, I'm saying I don't disagree with you on anything that you're saying, but what I am saying, even with sticks and stones, right? When that saying came about years ago, right? That was because people went face to face and had to deal with these
because
hurtful,
they had to.
Okay, face to face because we had no other way. So now,
but you're still talking about words.
No, listen, but I'm saying I don't have to deal with social media. I don't have to see those words because I don't have to be there. So I'm choosing to put myself in a place where I can get hurt that's not real. I'm choosing to go to that place. I had to go to school and get talked about face to face.
No, one could argue that you one could argue that you didn't have to.
Back then we did. We didn't have the.
Homeschool was an option back when you were going to school.
Yeah, but it was later on. I'm talking about when the saying came up. Right?
Okay.
People had to be around people.
When did the saying come?
I'm pretty sure if I said it, they said it when I was young. I'm pretty sure it was years before I had came about. So what I'm saying is, those spaces that we had to go and had to be in communication with people. I don't have to go to Twitter. I don't have to look at Facebook. So basically, if somebody would look at our podcast and be like, "Hey, man, they garbage," I'm pretty sure somebody think that, But I don't care about their thought. It's not a real place. Like I'm gonna tell you what Dave Chappelle's one thing said. He was at the store, right? Did you see that part where this lady was like,
I was in and out of this.
This lady kept following him. He said, "Man, this white lady just kept following me around the store." Right? He said, so the lady finally came up to him and said, But then just catch this. He said the lady finally came up to him and said, "Look, I don't like what you're saying, yada, yada, yada." He said, "So have you ever seen my show? Or seen a special of mine? No. Have you watched a Netflix special? No." He said, "So how do you know what I'm saying?" She didn't have a response. He said, "Look, excuse my language." He said, "Keep that shit." He said, keep that shit to Twitter, bitch. This is real life. Like you coming up to me in real life right now. You see what I'm saying? You're in front of me in real life where you can get touched. So if you want to say some dumb stuff, keep it at Twitter, man.
Okay, theoretically, I don't disagree
Right.
with you. On principle, I really don't disagree with you. I just think that there is a gap between your generation and this current generation that fundamentally sees things as definitive when I think there's some gray. That's all I'm saying.
Actually, though, if you want to look at the when the social media came into play, it was my generation that they introduced the social media form. Y'all just look it up. I don't say stuff without looking it up.
Mark Zuckerberg.
He created Facebook. He got an idea from somewhere else that started creating this stuff.
Oh yeah, a lot of places had somewhere else that started but didn't become a thing. So no. So I get what you're saying. Nobody cares about what was going on in the phone before iPhone. When the iPhone hit, that became the standard. What I'm saying is that you like to make a scene like y'all generation did nothing. Nothing. Nothing.
There's stats and evidence that
Y'all have y'all place. Take y'all place. But don't also intersect. Say that you influence, yes, but you did not. You did not implement or create take to the leverage. The same way we could say the millennial generation could be like, "Yo, we really gave the world social media, and this generation under us, they took that thing by storm."
This is what we're gonna do for y'all, good people watching.
Oh, God.
Next episode, we're gonna have the stats and the facts on this stuff. I'm all for it.
If I'm responsible for putting these stats and facts in these videos, I promise to you that I am not going to do said thing.
But anyway, but what I was getting back to, like this council culture thing, right?
Okay.
What is council culture? Like honestly, like what is it?
But I can't. Here's my essential point. You are making a definitive statement about what it should or should not be, meaning or how it can or cannot affect someone. What I'm saying is that there is a gray area.
No, all I said is what is council culture. I didn't make a statement. I'm just trying to figure out what it is.
You had just made your point, your argument about how it's fictional. It's not.
No, I said that's what Dave Chappelle said. So I'm just wondering, like we're running.
Did you not say that you agree with him?
Yeah, I do agree, because what is it?
That's what I'm saying.
Is it a thought, or is it like a real thing? I can fill out an application, I can work with council culture?
See,
no, I'm just saying, like, what is it?
This is why me and him be beefing. Because he literally said that, but it's like, that's not what I said. Yeah. Yes, that is what you said.
Hey, we can roll the tape back. We can roll the bean footage.
Again, if I'm supposed to be responsible for rolling back the footage, I'm not going to do that. If you are watching this and you see that the footage supports what he's saying, send it to someone else. Or what he said, take that to Twitter, bitch. This is real life.
Hey, but no, I'm just saying, like, what is, so what I guess what I'm tripping off of, like, why do people fear council? I think council culture, like, when I think about it, was a good thing at one point, when they was counseling people like, what his name, Harvey Weinstein, when he was
Okay.
because there was an actual. I guess you can't have one without the other though.
I'm about to say, cause y'all are quick to be like, cause quick. I'm saying what I'm saying, y'all. I'm saying the blacks. The blacks are quick to be like, yeah, cancel Harvey Weinstein, but also Bill Cosby. You know, not a big deal. Same thing.
I think that no, what I'm trying to say is like, what is this thing that we're scared of, man? What is this machine?
Because cancel culture not only cancel culture affects the bottom line. The bottom line is the money.
But they can try to cancel Dave Chappelle several times and it hasn't affected him
Okay,
at all.
he is a different person.
Because you know why?
He's on a different story. I promise to you, if cancel culture took effect to some peons like us.
No, I think even
maybe it wouldn't affect us
even with
way.
us, man. But I think the reason why it doesn't affect him because he doesn't care if it's affect him. He done took the sting away from him. I don't think he cares anymore, right? You understand what I'm saying?
disagree with you.
I think that's what it is, and I think that when we say something or do something, I think you should stand by it and care less about cancel culture because it's not a real thing. It's nothing but a thought. That's all it is. It's a thought.
It's a thought that has the tendency to materialize in the sense of financial impact. Take for example Bill Cosby, who once people started kind of getting on board with canceling Bill Cosby or whatever, they pulled the Cosby Show,
right,
which was affecting not just his bottom line but other people who had been impacted by who might have been receiving residual checks from that show. Take for example R. Kelly, who he was always not rich anyway because he never had his royalties, but that further impacted his bottom line. Except
was
for
it
the fact that
cancel
most of
culture
y'all
or was
get
it
ready to go ahead and-
was it cancel culture or was it the act that they committed?
Well, I don't disagree. I don't disagree that the act that they committed, but R. Kelly is such a I don't know, maybe not the best example, only because he's an example of people of someone who is technically canceled, but people are still vouching for him. There are still people who will blast his music, who are still keeping his his bills theoretically paid.
I think even with the R. Kelly, I agree with you. I don't deal with but I'm not gonna say he's not a musical genius. He was great.
I think that there's
yes.
I don't know. I like because what I want to say, I feel like other people will misinterpret as endorsing him.
And you might get counseled from cancel culture. See. You almost you lay it right into my next point.
No, I'm political. But my essential point is he should be held accountable. He should be held responsible.
Yes.
He should be penalized, especially for the actions that impacted other people. But at the same token, with all of that, he should also be. There should also be a space for us to.
Can I have a sidebar?
If I could finish my thought.
Oh, go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
I forgot it. Now, go ahead.
No, the sidebar was something that you told me last night, right? What the great Pastor Tammy said.
What she say?
This is what she said. This is what you told me. She said, now I heard some of it when I was watching it online working.
What she say?
She said she wanted somebody to get this and that and God, like, how much more do you want me to do? This person always, you love that thought, but you don't love it for R. Kelly.
No.
Right?
I'm agreeing. I'm saying that at whatever you reap, you will sow. That's my point. But my point, before you interrupted me, that you didn't allow me to get off, was also that we should make space and room for him to be. I don't know if reconciled back into society makes sense, but there should be a level of grace too.
Right, no, it should be. I remember hearing Minister Louis Farrakhan talking. He was talking about the guy who started Crips. What his name, Tookie? Mm-hmm. So he said at the time that he started Crips, and at the time of his execution, he was as far from the earth as to the moon, a different person, right? Mm-hmm. He said, but they still killed him, right?
Yeah.
And this man changed. He shouldn't have been killed because he's no longer what he once was.
What he was, yeah.
He said it wasn't even a thing to try to get out of prison. He was really no longer that person. You know what I mean? He was no longer that person.
Those thoughts, right? Plus, what do you do with the victims that are suffering because of the things that you? Because even for us, right? There are things that we are going to have to receive penance for.
Right.
Even if we are, as far as the earth is to the moon, a different person.
I mean, yeah. I think you're still gonna have to answer to the stuff that we still gonna have an answer to the stuff that we did. Even though God has given us grace and He has forgiven us, we still have to answer to those things, right?
I think what cancel culture does, though, it does that. It pushes that agenda, but it doesn't leave option or room for grace and forgiveness and to be changed.
But
which I agree.
I think cancel culture only pushes an agenda that affects them. I don't think they push every episode. They're not canceling everything.
No. I agree.
That's the problem.
I think no, but that was the point that I made about Harvey Weinstein versus Bill Cosby. Because like the blacks were like down with Weinstein's, and the blacks were also like Bill Cosby.
I don't think all blacks were.
No. I'm not saying all. I'm just saying.
All people of color were. I don't think so.
Okay, fine. The same. That's why I don't like talking to you, because all you go there like everybody wasn't. No, everybody wasn't, Tim. But
I mean, you just said a blanket statement.
No, I didn't make that. I said the black. I'm making a okay.
Hey, but see, what I'm saying is, at what point can I have my own opinion without being counseled? Just because you don't like it, I still have an opinion. I think what happens is this. I think what we got off the line is arguments, right? People, we always think we I think we associate arguments with fights, right?
Right.
And it's an argument is not a fight. Argument is just a disagree. When somebody go to court and litigate, they're arguing their case. It's not a fight, right? A fight is when people begin to blow up. Argument is nothing more than a debate. Right, we have arguments. So anytime you have a disagreement, that's considered an argument. But see, what happens is when we have fights, a fight and an argument are two different things, but we couple them together, right? So now, anytime I have an opinion, I just got an opinion. If he don't like the trans community, that's his opinion.
Which is not what he said.
No, he didn't say that. First of all, he didn't say that. But I'm saying if he did, that's what they trying to make it out to be.
No, yeah,
but he didn't say that. He actually gave a beautiful story about trans, to be honest with you.
I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful is relative, because it's beautiful to us because we don't really, we're not enthralled. We don't have a lot of friends who are trans that we know of. Or we don't. I don't know how that story impacted someone who in the trans community. I mean, that's just the truth.
I mean, I can't say what it is, but when I look at the whole context of what he was saying, at no point did he really bash the trans community. What he was doing was making jokes. First of all, this is comedy.
Okay, yeah.
This is
also
comedy.
From our perspective.
Even the person, his friend they talked about, that died, right?
Mm-hmm.
The trans, right? Did you see the whole thing?
I did.
So. But prior to this, he did another, I think, Sticks and Stones, where you talking about the trans community. Then trans had to go defend him, right? And the trans counseled her as well, her own people. So basically what he was saying was, it wasn't me that killed her, her own people killed her because of what they did to her.
I don't disagree with what you're saying.
So what I'm saying is, they only do it because I think it's beneficial. People want to love to have something to fight about, man. That's the problem. People love to have something to fight about. No matter what it is, they want to be caught up in the moment, right? So it's a moment. That's all it is, it's a moment. So we allow counsel culture to create a moment that's not even sustainable. That's the problem. And then we begin to alter everything that we believe because of this one moment of somebody saying, let's counsel him. Let's take the Twitter, man. Let's take the Twitter. Let's take this stuff and just talk bad about him instead of saying the whole thing about what he did. So I'm just trying to figure out, like, what is this counsel culture that we're scared of?
Stay tuned for a message from our sponsored podcast people. Not really. We just need to reset the camera. And we're back. So, okay. I really don't have an opinion on this topic about cancel culture, to be honest with you. But I am pushing back just because I think that sometimes we're definitive based off of our particular stance,
right,
without being empathetic to other people's how people interpret information. And that's probably what my theology would be on the subject, because I think that so much like communication is not just about what I'm saying.
No,
it's about how you're interpreting what I'm saying. So if my intent is to say, growing up, people like especially older people used to just say whatever they wanted to say in the name of them loving you. Right. So it'd be like, girl, if you don't, put that skirt down with your fast tail. It's being interpreted, right, from the person who's saying it as being someone saying something in love. I don't want you to be perceived a certain way. But the way you also say something and how that other person receives that determines whether or not the messaging was communicated appropriately. And I think with cancel culture in general, what we're struggling with is that we have definitive perspectives on both sides. The people being canceled versus the cancelers.
Right.
And it doesn't leave space for empathy the way I personally think we would all desire to have empathy shared with us.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
Do you? Because it sounds
really
like
do.
you get ready to
No,
disagree.
I really do. I just, as you was talking, you made this great, elegant point. It was very good. It was very good. It was Michael Dyson good.
Eric Michael Dyson?
Eric Michael Dyson good.
Boy, you
right?
could be cutting that man's name off. I hope that's his name for real, though. But go ahead.
But, as you was talking, I'm thinking to myself, like, man, I just had one question. What is council culture?
Yeah, but we're having a dialogue about it. I don't know. I told you I don't know. This was your topic.
Is this a real?
I don't know.
Is this I'm just saying, is it a real thing?
I think it's as real as an imaginary friend. So, yes, to someone, Tammy used to have an imaginary friend that was as real to her as you are.
Right. Yeah.
So it's as real as an imaginary friend, in my opinion.
So it's a bunch of people who all get together. They don't know each other and come together and pin on and have the same opinion on one thing. And then they just take to this person and just try to cut them down.
Did I tell you guys a story? Let me tell you guys a story. Once upon a time. Did I tell you the story? I don't know.
Probably not.
Once upon a time, my family and I were in Texas, and we were walking down the street to go eat something, and we saw a group of protesters protesting.
Yeah, you never told me this story.
I'm sure I told it somewhere. And I looked at my family and said, I'll be right back. And they were like, well, where are you going? I was like, I'm finna go, get in with the cops. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's why every time there's a riot, they be like, yeah, stay home. Is that why? Every time there's a riot going, they be like, Yami, don't get involved with it. They have to call and tell them something. I always thought it was weird, 'cause I'm thinking to myself, that ain't about their life. I have never seen it be about their life. But
my parents do tend to like anytime, especially in Atlanta, especially when all this stuff was going on, they'd be like, hey, just out of curiosity, where are you?
No. Not even in Atlanta. They can have protests in Baltimore. They be like, yeah, why you home?
Anyway.
Yeah, everybody. The one time that they had a protest down here in Washington, guess who was front and center? Yami was in the mix, man.
I mean, but it was in close proximity. The problem with the protest that was happening elsewhere is that it was far as hell. So, like, you want me to go to Atlanta, find parking, pay for parking, and then walk around, and then have to find my car, and then no.
Oh, we went to the protest. Did you go in Athens too? You went to that one too, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, we did. You remember? Yeah, the women's rights protest. You remember?
Oh, but that was light work. It was on a Tuesday too, so it wasn't a lot of traffic. There's a lot of things there. Like, listen, I'm down for the cause. You want some money? No. Also, maybe not. You want a social media post? You want some money? I'm down. But also, it's like, I got to fight traffic just to get to. Anyway, the point of the story is, my parents looked at me and said, well, what are they protesting? It was like, I don't know, but if they're passionate about it, surely this must mean that I need to get involved. They were like, why?
Oh, if they're passionate about it, I'm with it too. Let's go.
And
they protesting you, black people, and you right there protesting.
could have been a whole bunch of skinheads just getting ready to be like, hey. But at their point, and this is the point that I'm going to parallel to, like, cancel culture. Cancel culture tends to be just like that. They be like, hey, it's a cause.
Yep, that's
we need to say that we were, on the right side of history. This affects people, which everything affects everybody. You know what I'm saying? So we need to go ahead and do that. That is what I think cancel culture at its worst can be. But the other side of it too is that it's a group of people galvanizing to highlight a universal concern, or a concern that wasn't universal at first. Because if we didn't have people saying, hey, y'all can't be discriminating against folks because their hair is all natural and saying that they're not employable, which is a form of cancel culture, then we probably wouldn't have got the Crown Act.
Right. Even that, I know what you're saying is right. What I'm saying is I get what you're saying in a sense. But
you're not satisfied with nothing I'm saying.
But what I'm saying is this right here.
Nothing I'm saying. This is how we live.
Okay.
He has a question. I attempt to answer the question to the best of my ability. I say I don't know. That's not satisfying. I give a perspective. That's not satisfying. I don't know how to help. Maybe you guys can help him out in figuring out, because I don't know the answer. Because I said I don't know at first. He didn't agree.
But I will tell you this: if you tell me anything other than it's a thought, I don't want to hear it.
So you're canceling someone from giving you a perspective
because it's not real.
That's just cancel. That's cancel culture in its essence, right here.
Hey, I love the way what you just did.
You see how I did that?
And
we're still not gonna be satisfied because he's gonna have another point back.
Because that's like that brought me to my remembrance when people say like you have no right to judge me. That's a judgmental statement in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you can't judge me. Yeah. Yes, I actually can't.
I hate that too when people say you don't have the right to judge. I do have the right to judge you on what you did. You just raped the whole kid, right? So I can't say that what you did was terrible. I'm just saying like there are certain things that you have the right to judge about, man. I believe that. I believe that I can say I don't have the right to persecute you, but I have the right to say that's not right what you did.
Is that called judging though?
What?
Is that called judging?
What, saying what
holding
you did?
somebody accountable. I guess I don't know.
But that's what people say. No, it's holding somebody accountable. But even if you do that, you judge them. You see what I'm saying? People say that. Not everybody.
What you're saying is that we don't really know the definition of words, which is why we can't use them appropriately.
I never said that because I'm not gonna. She dumbed y'all down. I didn't do that. So, but no. But what I'm saying is that you made a good point. But all I'm saying is this, like.
Give the people your theology so we can because we're going in circles.
The thing is this.
You got me going in circles.
The thing is this, right?
Doom, doom, doom.
What?
Baby, round and round and round. I just wanted to go ahead and say that part. Go ahead. Continue.
You see my face?
Nope.
But what I'm saying is, like, I think what happens with cancel culture or whatever this made up thing is that
You've already concluded what it is. Here's the other thing. He's already concluded the possibilities of what it can be, which means that he's not receptive to the thought that it could be something different, other than what either supports his argument or what he thinks in his mind, and or what he thinks is already in his mind.
I would believe I would shift if somebody could tell me what it is, man, other than a thought.
Yeah, but they would still have to come into your mind and tell you how does he process information so that I can get him to understand it. And that's essentially I think the essence the issue with cancel culture, because it makes it like in order for you to even be receptive to the possibility that cancel culture may be something completely different than what you believe it to be, you have to be open to it. If you remain closed, if this is someone saying cancel culture is this, no, I don't think so. You gotta let some of that down.
Where is cancel culture right now? Right when the in this Ahmaud Arbery case, right, when this prosecutor stood up and say, "I want no more black pastors in my courtroom." We ain't hearing nothing about that because
it's a whole bunch of.
No, it's not cancel culture. What it is people standing up against it. What he said. That's what I'm saying. Like, so let's say,
and I would argue that that's a form, it's a variant of cancel culture.
So cancel culture should no longer be named cancel culture, right? Just people that don't like stuff.
I don't think it would matter. Even if you label
I'm trying to figure out what is cancel culture, man.
I don't know the answer to the question. I don't know how to. Someone, please. I don't know how to help because I don't have the answer.
What is this machine we're afraid of? You see what is this machine we're afraid of? Nobody else. But basically what I'm saying is, my theology is this. Mm-hmm. let's no longer allow council culture, a machine, a thing that's not real, to take away your idea, to take away your thoughts, your feelings, man. Who cares about something that's not real? It's not real. That's what I'm saying. I have a whole opinion on stuff, and but I'm scared to share my opinion because council culture might come to me. That's crazy.
You're also not scared to share your opinion.
I'm not. No, I'm just saying. No, that's the thought of most people, right?
You also said that you don't know what it is. So what are we?
No, what I'm saying is, I think people need to stop being afraid of council culture, but getting to council because of this machine that's been created by people.
So you're conveying that cancel culture is a machine.
No, I'm conveying like, say, the women's movement, right? What is it called? The women's movement, the one, you know what I'm talking about. Me Too. The Me Too movement, right? Those are real people. I just seen them. I just seen the people. That's a real thing, right? But I have never seen a group called Council Culture other than Twitter. They are Council Culture. So I'm just trying to figure out what it is we're scared of.
I don't think we answered any of the questions. Are you done?
I'm done.
I want you to know that he's been working on this for weeks. He said, I'm going to stop. I'm going to start ending the episode. Walking. Okay, well, I guess we're done, guys. Bye-bye.
I know I've questioned many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love, your love.
For every mom who ever missed a meal so they would have enough to let their babies eat. Fathers who grind every day to provide more than good advice. Charlie Sheen, taking everything you gotta take to bring the bacon home and put it on the table. You are not forgotten. Legacies are made in our darkest hours. God is watching. Keep your faith. Don't bend, don't fold. There's a lyric I quote. Tell me trouble don't last always. There's a Christ I know who revives the soul of the one who lose their way. Pursue the one who promised us a peace of mind. I tried to fly high on my choice of vice, but then I found Christ was the road to life.
Many things in this world, but I never had to question your love. So I know one thing's for sure. I can put trust in a real love.
This is dumb.
Did you like that?